Hey y'all, I'm Nesha and welcome back to Right Where You Are, the space where faith meets real life. And I remind you, your right now is enough. No fake perfect, no skipping the messy parts, just guide, growth, and a little bit of laughter along the way. If you haven't already, make sure that you hit the subscribe button and follow us on all of our social media accounts, Spotify, TikTok, and YouTube at Right Where You Are. So y'all, as you can tell from today's title, we're going to be getting a little bit more personal. We're going to be talking about a part of my life that I absolutely adore and love and has grown me to the person that I am now, and that is motherhood. And I wanted to take the time out to just dedicate this episode to my mom. That is my superwoman. I don't have no makeup on today. Don't let that be an indicator. I might cry. I'm gonna try so hard not to. We're gonna be a big girl today. But when I talk about anything that I love dearly, I cannot help but to get emotional. And my mama has been like my rock my whole life. Like even in my adult years, my mama is a big staple for me in my life. I call her my angel on earth because the way that she prays over us, the way that she just so selfless, she thinks about us first, even as us being old and gray haired and bald headed, because my brother bald. But she loves us so much. Even there's nothing has changed. She still loves us just as much as she did as if we were toddlers. Like that's my girl. She absolutely loves us and she shows us. Even my mama, she's kind of like a hard body. Like she not emotional. When she cried, you know something going on or something that moved her, because that's I call her like she's a man. Like she don't show emotion like that. But when it comes to us, baby, she don't play. That's one thing y'all better know. When it comes to them three kids and their grandbaby, she do not play. And seeing how she conducts herself under pressure or conducts herself when things don't look sure, when things are uncertain. And if you are a mom, if you are expecting, if you're thinking about having kids, if you don't have a prayer life like that, a child will definitely make you have a prayer life, because you want to protect them. You want Jesus to protect them. You want God to do his works in their life more so than yours, because once you become a mother and a parent, it's all about that child. It's less of you, more for your child until they get of a certain age. Now, I'm not saying throw everything dealing with you on the back burner. No, go pursue your dreams, but just know every decision that you make after having a child, you always have to take into consideration that child. And if you don't know my story, I got pregnant 4 months after knowing Josiah's dad. That relationship was like, it was really, really fast and it was really, really wrong. And this is not to bash anybody, but this is just, I'm just being honest. I just want to be transparent with y'all, because I feel like you cannot relate if you don't know the full story. So I got pregnant my last semester of college. And honestly, y'all, at that time of my life, I was actually thinking about drawing out my college years. Like I was going to push my graduation a year after. But when I found out I was pregnant, I said, let's go. Let's do this thing. And honestly, during that relationship, I was so lost. Josiah was the only thing that really kept me grounded and kept me like wanting more for myself. Because honestly, I'm just gonna be real transparent. Before I found out I was pregnant, I had started back smoking weed. So I was smoking back like my freshman year of college. I had started like towards the ending of the first semester. I had met somebody when I was going to Mississippi State. I had a little boo down there and he smoked and I didn't at the time. So he would leave, go smoke, come back. And I was like, man, like I want to start smoking too, because like you ain't finna keep leaving me. So I started smoking, and at one point it got very heavy to the point where I could not eat unless I smoked. But it was so easy for me to just stop. Like it's never gotten to the point where I was like, man, I'm having a bad day, I gotta smoke. It never became like that, but it was just fun for me. So I ended up stopping and then started back with Josiah's dad like months after we got together. But before I found out I was pregnant, I had said to myself, you know, me and Josiah's dad had broke up, and I was like, man, you know what? We're just gonna be a weed head. Forget it. We gonna start smoking heavy, not caring about nothing. Like I was had my own little apartment, and I was just gonna start blowing. But when I found out I was pregnant, I stopped. And honestly, Josiah, even after I having Josiah, I was so lost. Even during pregnancy, I was depressed. Like when I say depressed, I did not even recognize myself. I don't know. It's hard to explain now. I'm just happy that I'm not in that space anymore. But especially postpartum depression, postpartum will really take you through there if you let it. And the one thing, like when I started going down that rabbit hole of not loving myself, not wanting to be here anymore. I've had those seasons too where it was just like, God, like, I just can't take no more. I'm just gonna end it. A few times I've had those thoughts, had those, things where I was just like, this is just too much overwhelming. I can't do it. But then you look at your child and you say, God, keep me here. Keep me here for him. Take away these thoughts. Anything that is destructive, anything that is not of you, God, take it away. Because I want the best for my child. In what life is a child without their mom the best thing for them? Well, sometimes, some parents, some moms do understand that they can't give a child what they need. So they have to take themselves out of the equation and place them with somebody who can. But even in that, it takes a real woman and a real mom to understand and know that. During that relationship, honestly, it just felt like I was just by myself in a relationship. But I kept looking at my baby. You see your baby and you say, God, I got to keep going for this baby. Once I got out of that relationship, I just felt like a weight was lifted off my chest. And I did that for my baby. For my baby. If it was not for him, y'all would not see me. I would not be this person right now at all. And I feel like it's all because of my child. And not only just my child, but I had a praying mama. Woo. A praying mama, y'all. And if y'all don't know my family story, we've been through some stuff. So when y'all see us cry, we're very emotional. But that's because we've been through some things that a lot of families probably don't go through. And when you're in those situations, you think about, you're thankful for the small things. Because back a few years ago, we didn't think that this would be a reality. And I just want to say, like, mental health is real. And even in those situations with mental health, watching my mama pray to God over us, that was just so inspiring because, she could have said, God, why me? Why me? Why are my kids dealing with this? Why am I dealing with that with my kids? Why am I going through all these deaths in my family? Because at one point, y'all, my family was dropping like flies on my mama's side, and my mama was the one that kind of like took care of everything. Like, my mama could orchestrate a whole funeral just from experience alone, like from personal experience. And watching her still get up and go, like nothing happened, like rolling. That's nothing but God. And having a praying mama, Lord. Woo, y'all. But when I say that's my girl, that's my girl. And I've always admired how she still gets up and go no matter she's tired, she's sick, if she don't feel good, she gonna do it all. And she's gonna do it. She may complain a little bit, but she gonna still do it. And I've always admired that about her because she still praised God in those tough seasons, in those dry seasons, in those seasons where she didn't understand. She still praised God. And I think that's just so inspirational. And when you have a parent, when you have parents, and I thank God that I have two. I come from a 2-parent household where they know God, and just watching them pray over us and make sure that we have a relationship with God is just so inspirational. And that is what motherhood is about. Motherhood is about covering your kids, introducing your kids to God, and not pushing it on them, but making sure that they grew up in it so that when they leave or when they go astray, God will reel them back in because it's instilled in us and we know, like, okay, God, this ain't right. And understanding that me and my mama now, we have a really good relationship where I can go and talk to her about anything. Like, that's my girl. It's really a ministry in motherhood. And I wanted to talk about some figures in the Bible that embody what a real mom is. So when I looked up the word ministry, of course, it popped up things about preachers, priests, people over, bodies of religious groups. But the sole definition of ministry is serving others with love and compassion. And if that is not the embodiment of what motherhood is, I don't know what else is. And I try every day to strive to be a great mom. Not saying I'm a perfect mom, because there are times where, you try to start to compare what you see on social media. And it's like, baby, my parenting ain't like this. I'm kind of like Medea. This, I don't know. But God. And understanding that I don't have all the answers. And I'm still human as well. So not beating myself up, but just doing better as time goes on. And one thing that I have adapted in my parenting skills is apologizing to my son. My baby will be 4 years old on Saturday, y'all. And sometimes my patience is very thin. And that's one thing that I'm praying and working on. And God is giving me tests every day to stretch my patience. And, sometimes I fail. Sometimes, I may yell at my baby. And I'm like, baby, mommy is so sorry. And I have to speak life into my child, because if you don't, who will? And, we do these affirmations where, if y'all watch The Help, where she said, you was smart, you was kind, you was important. We do those same affirmations because I want to speak life into my child. I want him to know God got you. You can be whatever you want to be in this world. You're going to be a strong Black man who follows God, who is not a follower. And that's what I'm raising. And I want him to know mommy is not perfect. Mommy makes mistakes and mommy is sorry. And not just being sorry, but actually making those changes in myself so that those same sorries don't keep reoccurring. Because I want to know mommy loves you, And being a mama, y'all, it has grown me up so much. And that's why in this season of my life, I'm like trying to let God, I am letting God do his thing with me. But it's like when you have a child, and I have been working most of Josiah's life. I wasn't working at the first beginning stages of his life, but ever since he was like 4 months old until now, I have been working, providing for him. So it's just like now that I'm not, I'm like trying not to lose my mind. But it's like I know God has me, praising God during the storm, so that when you get those blessings, you can be appreciative for them. Like genuinely be appreciative for them, and being appreciative for the dry season as well, because it's changing something in you, it's reinventing something in you. And honestly, y'all, without Josiah, without me being a mom, I don't know where I would be right now, because my son gives me a drive like no other to keep posting these videos, even when the numbers aren't what I want them to be. God, I'm doing this for God, and not only God, I want to show my son, hey, God got me. And what kind of example will I be to my son, telling him God got me, trusting God, and I'm not doing it? No, I want to be a example for him to keep God first and let God write your path. Let God lay your path for you and just trust him. Even when it don't feel sure, when it feels uncertain, because that's where the real growth begins, in those uncertain dry seasons, because you have to really trust God. And that's why I said, I saw something on TikTok and it said, in those uncertain seasons, that's like the gym for your faith. That's where you get to work out your faith. Because it's uncertain, you don't know. You have to trust. You have nothing else but to do but to trust God. And I want to be that example for my kids, because I do want some more kids, y'all. I'm getting a little old, but I still want some more kids. And knowing that I do want more kids, I have to pray to God, ask God to help me to be the mom that he wants me to be a God-fearing mom that my kids can come to. And there's a revolving door. I want to break generational curses. I want my children to, when I die, I want their kids to be taken care of because of something that their mama did. You know what I'm saying? Because their grandmama is that girl. Okay. And for the mamas, I know how it can be. I know when I say having to get up and go to work every day, making sure that your kids are straight, making sure that your kids are dressed, it is very tiring. But make sure that you don't lose sight of you. Make sure that you are pouring into yourself as well. Because in order for those kids to have a great childhood, a great life, they have to have a happy mom. And that's one thing that I said when I was in a relationship, and I was like, I grew up in a 2-parent household. God, I don't want to be a single mom. I did not. And that's why I stayed for longer than I should have. I kept just saying, God, like, I want to I don't want to leave. What will people say about me? And eventually it just clicked in my head, and it was like, I got a revelation, and I think it was God talking to me during that time. And it said, what good is it to give your son a 2-parent household with his biological dad, and you're not happy, you're upset, versus having a 2-parent household with somebody who's not his biological dad, but he has a happy mom? Yes, I will take that every single day. Once I got out of that relationship, I came back home and I was just distracted so much. Up until recently, that's when I found out, like, girl, you really have not been working on yourself. You've just been distracted. And that's where this work comes in, where I'm journaling, praying to God. I'm doing the work internally and trying to figure out things that I need to work on in me so that I can be a blessing to not only my son, but to my future kids too. I want them to see me and know that I am God, know that I'm a God-fearing woman, knowing that God lives in me. And I want my kids to live that same life, because wherever my kids go, they're going to be a reflection of me. That's one thing that my parents always said. Being a mom is a full-time ministry. It's a full-time job, having to get kids ready. Even when you're hungry, sleepy, tired, sick, it don't stop. And I told him to say, Mama, you're doing a great job. Even if you may feel like you're not, you're doing an amazing job. Those kids, seeing your kids smile at you or get happy to see you should be that fire in you that keeps you going, because I know it is for me. And if you know a mom, tell that mom that she's doing a good job. Give her affirmation, speak life into her, because you never know what those small words could mean to somebody. I know my brother does that a lot. He always lets me know, like, you're doing a great job. It's a few things I don't play about, and two of them are my brothers. Y'all, I don't even want to talk crazy on here, but just know, them two, I don't play about them two. But speaking life into a mama that you know, even if you are a mom, speaking life into another mama. And if God puts it on your heart to say something nice to somebody, say it. You just never know what they needed in that season or in that time frame to keep them going, and let them know, okay, God got me. Because God uses people to bless other people. Like, how do you expect to get blessings and things like that? God is speaking through those people to bless people. Even if it's with words, you don't always have to bless people with money. You can give people, send people a good text or whatever. Call them and tell them that they're doing a good job. You just never know. And I just always want to be obedient. Two biblical figures that I want to talk about being, the embodiment of what a mother is. The first one is Hannah, and you can find this story in 1 Samuel chapter 1, verses 9 through 28. So basically, Hannah had been praying for a son. God delivered and gave her Samuel. And what did Hannah do? She dedicated him back to God. Like, mothers in today's time should be able to resonate with this story, because motherhood will definitely make you pray. It'll make you pray over your child if they sick. Even when they sleep, y'all, I be catching myself praying over my son. God, build him up to the man that you want him to be, God. Let him be a leader, not a follower, Lord. Order his steps in your word, God. Let him hear your voice. Let him know. Baby, I'll be praying over my baby. Like, even when I drop my baby at school, God bless the school, protect these babies while they're at school, protect the staff. Lord, being a mama will really create that prayer life for you, because you really want God to protect them kids. And that is a part of ministry, praying for your kids. And not just praying for your kids, but you have to be nice to your children. And I catch myself doing this a lot, where I'm overstimulated and I'll probably kind of like lash out at my son. I'm like, hold up, girl. He didn't ask to be here. This is part of your ministry. We cannot treat your baby like this. And having to take a step back. And like I said, being overstimulated, I don't want that to be an excuse. So I apologize to my son. And when it happens again, I try to like reset. Even if you have to take a pause, even if they do something off the wall where they need their tail whoop, and you would just say, hold on, let me go. We'll pray real quick, because I don't want to do too much. But just taking a step back and being an example for your kids and showing them what a loving, God-fearing mom is. And I feel like nobody is perfect, no. But you should strive every day and say, what can I do? How can I show my kids that God is the way to go? Being nice is the first step. Don't be a mean mama, y'all. Have a relationship with your kids. Do you laugh with your kids? Do you have jokes with your kids? My little boy, that is my best friend. Do you hear me? Me and little homie, we locked in. As he has gotten older, y'all, and just seeing how mannerable he has become, that makes my heart full. Like, he has been saying, like, if he does something or he bumps into somebody, he'll say, I'm sorry. He'll say, thank you. And he's just so mannerable. When I tell you I love it, oh my God, my baby, that is my joy, my peace. That's my baby, y'all. So the next mom that I want to talk about in the Bible is, of course, Mary. She was Jesus' mom. And I feel like mothers today can definitely relate to her, because not only are we caring for these kids every single day, we may feel like motherhood is an ordinary task, but God has entrusted us to carry these kids, raise these kids up in his name. And I feel like that is the bigger picture. We're raising another generation of believers. So once you start looking at it like that, it'll make you say, okay, maybe I should not do that in front of my child. Maybe I should stop doing that, because I don't want to instill something in my child that I am not proud of. You know what I'm saying? Me and my son, we pray together. I'll tell him, say, thank you, Jesus, for waking me up this morning. Or say thank you, Jesus, and bless everybody. But y'all, I just wanted to say motherhood, it makes you selfless. It forces you to rely on God in a much deeper way because you realize that you can't do it on your own. This is not your own understanding. And a lot of things when you introduce kids into the mix, once they get older, there are things that you go through with your kids and you may not understand on your own understanding, so you have to lean on God. And that's a part of ministry. And that is the beauty of motherhood, the praying, the sacrificing. As you guide your children, you're showing them who God is. So to all the moms out there, your ministry might not be standing behind a pulpit, but it definitely makes an impact just as much as preaching does, because you have to be an example for your kids 24/7, not just on Sundays, Wednesdays. It's every day of the week. Being a parent is a ministry within itself. And I just wanted to say again, mamas, y'all are doing a great job. Continue letting God use you. Continue going to God for answers. Continue seeking God, and you will not go wrong. That is all for this episode. I hope y'all enjoyed it, and I hope I said something to keep you encouraged in God. And I will see y'all next week.